Okay, Carl and Mark here with a introduction to your tools and how to set up a home studio. Super quick video. Mark, tell us about the tools. What do we have here?
Okay. Tools. Inside your toolkit is a variety of ribs. These are different kinds of ribs.
Put that up there nice and close. Serrated edge rib. See how it's got the little edges on there?
It has little teeth.
Little teeth, okay.
One that doesn't. I think there inside there is a...
There's not a Fentley knife in your toolkit.
Sorry. A needle tool.
Show it close.
Needle tool. There is...
Two trimmers.
Two different types of trimming tools.
They might look a little different than those, but it doesn't matter.
Slightly, but they're very close. And there's a couple of different types, at least, of modeling tools, which is basically a wooden knife, and it has a nice end that's sort of shaped like a finger. Anyways, all of these things you go, I don't get it. Well, you're going to know how all these tools work really well.
And a wire tool. Use it for cutting clay or assassinating.
Assassinating. Ouch. All right. So things that aren't in your toolkit, but things you can find all around your house, and you're going to find stuff like that. Things like a little piece of Scotch-Brite that you use at your sink is a great tool.
A sponge, or a kitchen sponge, part of a kitchen sponge.
Parts of, like little debris sponges. Or find a bunch of different sponges. Also, having a great big sponge for cleaning up after yourself is good to have. And I would say put everything like in a little bucket or container that you can keep all your stuff together like that, or even put it in something larger that you can put in your garage and bring in, and you kind of walk your studio into wherever it is you're going to work. Things also around the house that you're going to find, everybody's got a pencil. Sharp pencils are great tools to have
for marking on the clay.
Also, go to a 5 and dime store and find an old fork, knife, and spoon. Don't ruin your roommate's stuff or rob from your kitchen, but to have a good knife and fork and spoon that you can use throughout the semester.
Preferably metal, not plastic. They don't work very well.
Yeah. Some kind of a board. This one's even better, right? A bigger one. That you can keep your projects on and wrap them in plastic.
Or a piece of cardboard, because everybody has an Amazon box.
Good idea, Coral. Anyways, so that's all good. Some kind of a towel, so that you're going to be in and out of your water bucket all the time, so you want to be able to dry your hands off. Some people fasten that to themselves, or get a apron. Okay. All right, another thing that is great to have is some kind of a kitchen apron, something like this that you can put on and work, because it also, you can dry your hands off and do this kind of stuff and stay relatively clean, and all the mess kind of goes here rather than on you and around your house. Okay.
Also, a rolling pin, if you have one in the house, you can always, borrow that from the kitchen and wash it off. The clay's not going to, just so you guys know, the clay is not going to hurt anything in your house. You can wipe it up with a wet sponge. And, you can put it in the laundry, like clay clothes, it's not going to matter. You can wash your hands in the sink, that's fine. The thing I wouldn't do is maybe dump like clumps of gooey clay down the sink. So if you had clumps of gooey clay in your bucket, then you could dump the water off down your sink and then throw the gooey clay in the trash or in a bag to use for later.
And and clay isn't unhealthy for you in its wet form. When it's a little unhealthy and not any fun to be around is when it dries out and it's a powder.
Dusty.
It's dusty. So get in the habit of whatever your tools are and whatever board you're working on and all that stuff. Clean your stuff up when you're done. It only takes a minute, but use a wet sponge to clean everything up. If you get in the habit of that, it's not going to dry and make dust, and that's when it's harder to clean up.
Hey Mark, what if I don't have a rolling pin at home? What else can I use to roll out a slab of clay?
Well, if you have some kind of a pipe or something, you can also roll out a slab with a pipe like that.
Or what if I don't have a pipe?
How about a wine bottle? Or a bottle in general, not a plastic one that doesn't, like a glass bottle of some kind.
Yeah.
You can roll out a slab with a bottle.
What about like a big beer bottle?
A big beer bottle? Like a big long one?
Like a fancy beer.
Maybe
like a Belgian beer.
Ooh.
Comes in a nice bottle with a cork.
Is this a personal thing?
Yeah, whatever.
All right. You could do that as long as it's firm, as long as it's a cylinder. You can roll it out on the clay.
And then also, you're probably going to want to have a couple of garbage bags around. So when you're drying out your pieces and you don't want them to get totally dry, we'll show you this later, but you'll put your pieces on a board inside of a bag so that you can kind of keep all of your stuff stored so that it doesn't get too dry, and then you can continue to work on it over the course of a few days.
Right. And if anybody has their dry cleaning done, you know, the really flimsy plastic that's around your clothes, save that, because that's really good for wrapping individual things that you're working on, because it clings to the piece and then the piece doesn't dry out. So
Episode
save it.
of Dexter.
Yeah. There's a violence theme going on here. All right.
We'll edit
anyways.
that out.
So, yeah. All right. And this is another good thing to have, is a couple sticks. If you're rolling out a slab, if you can find a couple sticks that are the same thickness, right? They don't need to be this long. They could even be 2 rulers, or take a couple rulers and if you do this, you'll see this later, this is a way to roll out a slab so that it's a uniform thickness. So a couple of sticks that are the same thickness, on top of which you can put the rolling pin, or the wine bottle, or the pipe, or whatever you're using.
So make sure that you get all your stuff together so you have a setup that is going to be workable and manageable, that you can get to and easily and not make too big of a mess in the house. But also don't stress about getting all the exact perfect stuff. Okay, you're going to make it work. You're going to be creative. You're going to find the things you need as you're going through the semester. We'll give you a heads up for what you're going to need for each project. So if you don't have a board today, don't worry about it. You can continue and just start working and make do with what you have. Okay. So don't stress about any of this stuff.
Right. And if we show you how to do something using some tool, you might try it and then think, well, this other thing works much better for that for me. And that's just fine. It's you're going to adapt and make things work for yourself. But this is a good place to start. The basic tools you have in your kit is sufficient, I think, to really get a good start.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.